no nuance, there's no emotion. But look at Deviljho. Does he look like someone that cares about music theory tradition? Hey music friends, this is Davi Vasc. I'm a music composer for games, and I've been trying to cover as many requested tracks here on the channel, and one of the most requested ever, and the one that we'll listen to and talk about today, is the theme for Deviljho, the original invading monster. And he's originally from the 3rd gen of Monster Hunter games, but today we're going to listen to the world version of his theme. Let's go! Wow. Oh. So many disturbing chords. Okay, so first of all, you know they're setting this monster up as something unique and very dangerous when they start the theme with this. These fast notes here at the beginning. This is called an arpeggio, and an arpeggio just means that it's the notes of a chord, you know, and a chord, as you know, is just a bunch of notes being played together, right? Like this. An arpeggio means that you take the notes of a chord and instead of playing them all together, you play them one at a time. And the chord that this arpeggio here is based on is this one. It's a very, very disturbing chord, and it's actually a kind of chord that they usually reserve for Elder Dragons in Monster Hunter themes. In these more dangerous Elder Dragon themes, they usually tend to use chords like this, for example. Extremely disturbing chord. So you know they're trying to set up Deviljho as this unique monster, and it makes total sense, doesn't it? Because Deviljho is not an Elder Dragon, of course, but he has something different about him. He definitely stands on his own as a monster that maybe could even stand up to an Elder Dragon. He has an aura about him. He's different, you know, from a regular monster, even though he's not an Elder Dragon. And you can see them communicating this here using these chords that are usually reserved for Elder Dragons. And then this sequence of chords here. These are still the disturbing Elder Dragon chords that I talked about. They're still using them. Something else that they're using here, aside from the disturbing chords, that definitely makes this theme very, very unique, and it helps set up the Deviljho personality as well as something very unique, is something that they're using here called Chromatic Mode. And I've said here on the channel before that going Chromatic Mode as a composer is kind of like going Super Saiyan, because when you're composing a song, you're basically usually composing in a key. A key is a group of notes that you can use, and notes that are outside of the key you can't use, they sound out of tune. But when you go Chromatic Mode, you go Super Saiyan, you get rid of the limitations of keys, and you are allowed to use every single note in the keyboard. There are no more groups of notes that you can and can't use. You can use every single note. So they're using this here, and again, this may or may not be some kind of allegory to Deviljho's personality, which is a monster that doesn't care about boundaries and limitations, right? He doesn't care if you're hunting something else. He's gonna barge into your quest and ruin your day. A lot of brass. Lots of disturbing chords, so unpleasant, just like Deviljho. Oh, I love this. Can you hear these? the music is relatively quiet, but there's these bum, bum, these attack notes. Attack notes are just strong, short notes like this bum. This to me feels almost like, you know, Deviljho steps when he's coming in to invade your quest and ruin your day. Did you guys hear this? The flute going like... Did you hear? This is something that I always thought was interesting about Deviljho's theme, because he is so awkward and has so little elegance that, you know, it becomes almost cartoony. He moving around with no grace at all. So these kind of cartoony woodwind phrases like that help accentuate this small part of Deviljho's personality. Oh, did you... Wow. Did you guys catch that? Do you know this? I didn't remember this at all. Is this only on World's version of his theme? That's cool. It's a little nod to the fact that he is a 3rd gen monster, so it's the 3rd gen main theme being referenced here. A lot of focus on the low-pitched instruments in the build-up. A build-up again. This is awesome. It's so interesting that they would do something like this here. Check this out. This is what they're doing. So the chord that they're using here is this. I'm gonna call this an emotionless chord, and the way that they're using this chord here, a bunch of these chords in succession, is something that is wrong according to music theory tradition and classical music tradition. It's actually a kind of a running joke among composers that orchestral composers are allergic to parallel fifths. This is the name of what they're doing here, parallel fifths. And there's no grace to it. It's very devoid of elegance. There's no nuance. There's no emotion. But look at Deviljho. Does he look like someone that cares about elegance and music theory tradition? No, he doesn't. So it's so interesting that they're using something like this here, like breaking the rules to portray the personality of this monster correctly. And something else about parallel fifths is that this is actually something that heavy metal and rock guitar players love to do. It's basically all that heavy metal guitar players do. So that again sets up another aspect of Deviljho's personality as a kind of rebel guy that doesn't care about elegance and tradition, and it's all about breaking rules and barging in. A lot of focus on brass. Did you hear that? On the right speaker, such a awkward sound. You guys remember in my Brachydios video where I talked about key change, about rising the key and how it's all about raising the excitement and bringing more energy to the track? They did this here too. So they're basically playing the same thing, but they raise the key and it becomes more exciting. Check this out. Okay, so this is the regular key. Now, it's a higher key now. It sounds more exciting. A lot of percussion. This is genius. Remember at the beginning when I talked about Chromatic Mode and how it's all about getting rid of the limitations of scales and just playing any note in the keyboard that you want? This is Chromatic Mode, this is not a scale. He's just going up and down in Chromatic Mode. And again, does Deviljho care about scales, about key? No, he doesn't. He's just gonna use Chromatic Mode because he does what he wants. I've made another video about an annoying invading monster from Monster Hunter. I'm gonna put the Bazelgeuse video over here, and over here I'm gonna put my playlist of Soulsborne music videos. I know a lot of you guys like Soulsborne games, so make sure to check that out. And remember, whenever you're ready to spread your wings and go on a music journey again, I'll see you there.